Hello, my name is Camasco Lopez, and I'm doing my 8-minute video presentation on the SOPA Stop Online Piracy Act. Now, the ethical standard I will be using would be contribute to society and to human well-being, acknowledging that all people are stakeholders in digital media. My actors will be the general public of a specific society, as well as the entertainment companies that control digital media. Now, the SOPA Act, to cover it briefly, the bill's purpose is to promote prosperity, creativity, entrepreneurship, and innovation by combating the theft of U.S. property and for other purposes. Now, since we mentioned the U.S. property, we will be restraining this conversation to the United States society. If you would like, you can pause at this moment and read the First Amendment Title 17 liability and servability on your own. And our points for ethical argument of pirated content are for entertainment companies that they took the risk on the artist. The second point would be the law says life plus 70 years. And my third point would be survival of our businesses and intellectual property. For the general public, my first point would be an oligopoly, and with my second point being vicarious piracy, and my third point would be today's content mediums have expiration dates. Entertainment companies, compared to the ethical standard, their argument points would be since they invested in multiple artists, they contributed to society in the sense that these multiple artists who didn't have an income received an income. The second point would be that intellectual property helps contribute to society's economy, and the laws protect this by protecting the content for the life of the artist plus 70 years. In my third point, if it's an entertainment company, the survival of the business is based on its entertainment products, which are displayed through mediums, whether they be a concert, CDs, DVDs, programs, or anything that the company decides to sell for profit. Now, comparing these comparisons of my ethical standard to an individual situation would be, for my first ethical standard comparison of my argument points for ethical argument would be that a record company invests $10,000 into 100 artists, and then one artist sells $10 million worth of intellectual property, returning a 1,000% return. Now, for my second point, someone sells a pirated movie on the street and gets arrested. Clearly, this is unethical based off of our ethical standard, considering that the first point would be contribute to society, and this individual is not contributing to his society. As for my third ethical standard for the entertainment companies have employees and they hire them after they produce so much money to make them more money. Now, this contributes to society as well as the human well-being, and it acknowledges that society is a stakeholder because of equal opportunity employment. Continuing on to the general public, the general public's points were oligopoly, which too few companies can sell this product, so all people are not included in the digital media. Oligopoly does not meet our ethical standard, so that is why I phrased it that way. Our second point is vicarious piracy. Website visitors can post a comment with a link to pirated materials and place entire websites at risk, affecting societal economy. So the entertainment company will be able to use the SOPA Act to threaten the website's service provider or the website itself to take down that material or have the website removed entirely. And that's what the SOPA Act is for. And testing this based on an ethical standard, since the entertainment company is imposing its will on if it's imposing its will on a domestic company, this would be unethical because of the acknowledging that all people are stakeholders in the society. But if it were a foreign business, it would be entirely ethical because that foreign business is not included within the society that we're talking about, which is the United States society, because SOPA is a United States law. Would have been a United States law. Let me correct myself there. Today's content, my third argument for the general public would be today's content mediums have expiration dates. Digital media expires, so the public cannot back up digital media on cloud format, disallowing the standard that all people are stakeholders. So this does not meet my ethical standard based on the fact that in the society, every individual is a stakeholder of said intellectual property. Now, comparing my ethical standard, the points from my ethical standard to a situation, it would be that entertainment company, for the first point, would be that entertainment companies can not allow you to sell their media if you don't bend over backwards for them. My second point would be your website. Your situation would be your website is trolled by some foreign person with links to pirated material posted on your comment sections or published through non-used website links to your website, causing an illusion that it's your website. This would be entirely actionable by the SOPA Act, and it would be detrimental to society because if we are talking about a website that is owned by a domestic individual who resides within the continental United States and does business in the United States, because our ethical standard states that society contributes to society, so the website would be losing money, so that would not be contributing to society, even though the entertainment company would stop losing money, which would contribute to society in a sense, but two negative, they would kind of cancel each other out depending upon revenues and all that fun stuff, but we won't get into that. Now, my third situation would be the DVD you bought your kids can't be passed down to your grandchildren because digital mediums expire. DVDs after 15 years expire. Your computer that you're working on right now will expire in 15 years. The hard drive you back everything up on will expire in 15 years. So these are not absolute and forever ownership of intellectual property. So eventually you would want to back up on some type of hard drive or cloud to retain ownership of what you paid for. Now, my ethical debate with an ethical action and unethical action, in my opinion, would be backing up your media you legally purchased for preservation of your own physical property, putting it on cloud. Now, unethical actions that SOPA would allow entertainment companies to do would be enforcing SOPA on the individual's cloud network to force the network that you pay to have your cloud on to remove the content that they feel is pirated on your cloud network, which in reality is something you backed up. So 3 questions that I have for you, the viewer, would be: should intellectual materials continue to have legal protection after receiving 1,000% return on investment? My second question would be: should the intellectual material become public domain after so much of a return on the investment? And my third question would be: how will you enforce these ideas? You can answer one of these questions or all 3. I'm most interested in how will you enforce these ideas. So feel free to leave a comment below with these questions, answering these questions. Now, in conclusion, to repeat, my ethical standard: contribute to society and the and to human well-being, acknowledging that all people are stakeholders in digital media. Now, points of concern for entertainment companies would be historic returns on investment. 1,000% return on an investment is something that a Wall Street trader would dream to have in his lifetime only once, and the best of them only have happened around 5 to 6 times. Now, the second point of concern would be the control of the vendors. Since their SOPA has such strict regulations of enforcement, they can really control who sells their product really, really well. And my third concern would be legal intimidation of the public. Now, I'm going to restate this as a concern for the general public, because it's just that paramount. Because entertainment companies are worth millions of dollars, they have millions of dollars worth of legal fee, lawyers, and that's something you just got to deal with. Now, the SOPA Act also provides immunity for illegal enforcement of the SOPA Act, protecting the entertainment companies, which is a very big concern that I would have, because it would essentially make it to where they can enforce it without you meeting the standards of the SOPA Act. Now, my concerns for the general public is lack of protection, because most people make less than $10 million in their lifetime. They can't dish out $1 million in lawyers' fees to just spend, and when they win their case, never receive a return on that $1 million. Now, you're unable to exert real ownership of your physical media materials because you can't back it up on a cloud with this SOPA Act. And also renting of purchased material due to medium's expiration. So you're really long-term renting material, because eventually your DVD, your hard drive, or your computer will die, and you'll no longer have this digital media. So the Cinderella VHS tape that you bought as a kid, you cannot give to your grandchildren, because after 10 years, VHS becomes unusable anymore. And my references are here. I would like to take a moment to thank everybody who took the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a nice day.